Cannot hear you, Thor. No sound. No sound on YouTube.
All right, here we go. Room audio reloaded. That should do it.
Now I can hear you.
All right, now we got it. Okay, progress, people. All right, fingers crossed. We actually get the video to come back now. All right, we got video, at least for the moment. I'm liking that. All right, we got audio on the YouTube land. All right, cool. All right, I'm coming back in. Hey, people. What's going on? Sorry about the momentary. Since I didn't have audio going to either system, I just decided to blast out and come back in. Thankfully, it worked. So it looks like we are up and running. Norm, brother. Hopefully this is it, man. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you too. My video seems to be having an issue. I think it's going to lag again, so I'm just going to turn it off for the day.
Cool.
But that's all right. I'm doing well. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, brother.
This is more of a My Pillow day than yesterday. There were actually some things that moved yesterday. I saw some people took some really nice shorts on AMC was one of them. That was a good short. There were a few other trades, but overall, the gappers list was pretty terrible. This might be about the same.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to be pretty quiet until earnings start, and that's next Wednesday morning. So,
yeah, kind of in that nice little spot to take a vacation area, or maybe go to the zoo with your kid, which I believe that's what you did the other day. So
I did. It was nice.
I managed to get a couple of nice trades on, like Walmart, for instance, offered a nice opportunity yesterday. So we managed to do that. Today, gapping up. I saw Twitter on the gap ups maybe 10 minutes ago, but it's gone now. But we've got to gapping up is Hood, which is Robinhood.
Gapping
to the
down,
downside,
you mean?
nothing super exciting. Yeah, I heard about the downgrade on that. I wasn't sure that was even possible to downgrade it more, but they did. So now it's down, under $12. So that's interesting. And then to the tops, gap up, we really don't have any tickers that really just jump out at me. But on the market as a whole today, we do find ourselves kind of gapping, or not gapping, kind of bouncing back up a little bit. We found yesterday we kind of stuck in this range. We sold off a bit and then actually rallied fairly well to close out the day. Now we're actually opening a little higher after coming off of VWAP on the daily. So the question is here, do we have a nice maybe a little subtle Friday rally, maybe to close out the weekend, or are we just going to finish out nice and choppy? I mean, we were dead middle on the range, so, we could do that. So we'll see how that goes. What about you kind of already hit a couple things. Anything else interesting happening in the market there for the pulse?
No, I mean it looks pretty weak. But that having been said, we'll get through that. I just updated that sheet and it's not on there. The only economic data we hit, for whatever reason, it's not showing up on on your slide properly. Probably my fault, but 10 a.m.
I think it
wholesale
updated.
inventory revision for February. So that's all the data today.
Mm.
Yeah, the Masters is on. I think that's the most
Mm.
important news of the day.
Yeah, we just had the tour down here in my neck of the woods like a week or so ago down for the down here in Ponte Vedra, which is like right next to me. They get this place like loads up like crazy down here for that.
Yep.
So it's like that whole town. It seems like it's like built up just around the like whole Sawgrass like event and all that stuff that happens. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got on our gap up and gap down. That really shouldn't take too long. And then we'll grab a couple of tickers from y'all. You know, make a little small talk. Try and keep you guys entertained for a little bit. Maybe something will wake up, or some fun news will come in. Maybe somebody will tweet something while we're doing this. Why don't we go a little backwards and start with Hood here? Hood it's kind of finding itself really low in the range here under S4. We Hood has a downgrade, as Norm just mentioned a moment ago. The downgrade was to like $13 though, I thought, or something. So everyone's
Yeah.
just like, downgrade, hold my beer, like let's just keep going. So
Yeah. It's pretty rough.
yeah. So I mean they're getting beat down. So I don't know how. Let's see. I haven't ever actually tried to trade Hood intraday. Have you ever traded this thing?
Well, a couple of times. Nothing too crazy.
How does it trade? Um, it has its moments. I mean, it's definitely has some moves and bounces. It looks like it adheres to the cams pretty well, actually. Look at here, it responded to S4 really well. So, in a world with little options, we've got a catalyst and it's got some participation. So we'll throw this on secondary for now. I'll just leave it right there. Let's hit our gap up. That was our whole gap down list, y'all. So does that mean we're having a really strong day today? Yeah, no, that's not what it means. It just means that. So we're having a gap up today on BWV, which is Blue Water Vaccines. What do we got on
Yeah.
these guys?
Well, it's only gapping up because it lost 83% of its value yesterday.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know. This is not good. I mean that was a big drop.
So Ross, this is not COVID vaccine. They're trying to develop a universal flu vaccine. Apparently with little success.
That is what I'm thinking. So,
So
because yesterday we were worth $60. Today we're worth the same amount as Robin Hood.
yeah, exactly. So this one's had a rough time. It's a fairly recent IPO. I believe it came out mid-February. So pretty nasty.
Yeah, and even otherwise, look at how this thing trades otherwise too. Look, on its days it sells, it just gets these nasty candles, and then whenever there's buying that occurs, right, it's very little and arduous. So even if you were thinking, hey, maybe I want to try and play the bounce off of this extreme sell, like, what do it's just going to probably do something like that, and that doesn't seem worth it. And I don't know if I could handle shorting something like this. It just seems terrifying. SST System 1 Inc. Daily looks kind of weird.
This one has been on the list several days this week after they reported earnings on the 4th, Monday, after the Monday morning, actually. So, yeah, I really haven't seen it do anything great, but maybe I just missed it.
Yeah. One thing that I really like to do for these is I like to just go back a few days and just kind of see like how does it like just trade generically. And other than maybe this one moment here, it looks like it always just kind of chops little like complicated like ranges and stuff like that. So I don't know if this stock would be the stock for me. But if you guys get interested on it later, you let me know and I'll pull some levels on it. But for right now, I'm gonna leave this one off. Although it is opening in like a breakout range, but I don't know. SBFM, Sunshine Biopharma, gapping up for sure. Had a really big rally day yesterday. Finds itself going up a bit. Floats about 4 million. Normally trades about $1. Lately, been doing a little better. What's going on with Sunshine? Just bio stuff.
Hang on, I apologize.
It had a big jump running into the close, actually.
Yeah, they had news yesterday. They had some positive news on an mRNA cancer treatment.
The mRNAs are really starting to like take over. Yeah, you can see we kind of had like a quick rally right into the close, so that'll be interesting to see what happens. We got a gap now. Might look for, if you like the price on this one, you could maybe even look for this thing to squeeze a little bit and then play the fill because it's already moved a whole lot. It's a $2 stock that's at $12 now. You're gonna get some profit taking here pretty soon on this thing. It'll get a little wild when that happens. So it's a maybe. I probably won't trade it, but it's a maybe. For if you like that kind of those price and movements, it might be your thing. DDL, which is our favorite named company. It's a little low price for me. But it had a really nice drawdown yesterday. I mean, the sell was manageable. So it's, if this is in your thing, it looks like it trades. Volume's really light this morning. And the ladder looks really balanced. So if the past couple of days on the daily chart, it looks like it's been range bound. It looks like it's going to continue to do that today. But it did have a really big day a few days ago when whatever catalyst hit this thing came out. So I forgot what it was. All right, SBSW, Spacky.
I hate no.
Doing this is business as Sabane.
No, this is a South African gold miner. Trash, really. It doesn't trade well.
Yeah.
Shows up every once in a while, just whenever gold happens to be up, generally.
All right, so not great. So all right, everybody. So that's our first hit there through the gappers list. As you guys can see, we're missing a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and run my high volume scanner and see if anything pops out there that looks relatively interesting. And the answer is no. There's nothing. So I had nothing that really popped out. It looks like the SQs and TQs are and like Soxel, the ETFs are catching some volume this morning. But no one otherwise is actually really like dragging in some good volume this morning that I'd like to see. So this kind of supports Norm's earlier thoughts about maybe even a less fun day than yesterday. So we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and grab. Actually, yeah, it's only 8:45.
Yeah, let's go to the room and grab. If anybody's got any tickers, we'll take those. I'll throw out to Twitter for sure. The thing that's interesting about Twitter is that they had the big day, obviously, with the Elon Musk news earlier in the week, and then it's kind of chilled out, but it's come back to the bottom of where it gapped to.
Exactly. So
I'm really curious to see what it does. The low from Monday morning when that news came out is 46.86. Yesterday, it tested that 46.55. And then bounced off of it. It's down, getting in close to that now, 20, 30 cents away. So curious to see how it acts here.
Yeah, the low of that day, right, was let's see, hold on. That sure doesn't load like that. Oh, I got old. Oh, that's right. It's because it's an old config. I mean, yeah. So we got that mark. I mean, we're like right there, right? It's just under 47 where that was, and thought being right. If we go under that level, we kind of just barely tested it yesterday, and then bought up off of it, but not a lot. So if we can manage to lose that area, that's a decent size gap right there that we could have some fun with. If it does hold here, then you're buying basically at the bottom of an incredibly established range. And if it holds here and moves up, it's probably not going to look back for a little while. So this is going to be. I agree. I think Norm's
I
spot
think
on here. I
that's the
think Twitter's going
best
to at least
prospect of the
offer some
day.
kind of an opportunity today.
Yeah. I want to see how it reacts as we get close to the market open and as the market opens between 46.50 and 47-ish and act appropriately from there.
Absolutely. I really like that idea. I'm stealing that one today. That's happening. Let's we said Neo in the room. So Neo for me, I don't know why has not been like the world's greatest trading stock for me. And it's these moves that it gets have been nice, but its consolidations have been so wide. So, and this is what I mean, like when it's, if you look up here at my 5 minute chart that I have here, notice like it's going from S4 all the way back up into the range to consolidate like these big. So when you go short on it for the break, you have to use like a really wide stop. And then so you're just not really getting the distance you need to get a reasonable RVR on Neo lately for me. So I haven't been keeping after it as much. However, right now the level 2 has a big bid sitting at 20, which isn't surprising. It's already been through that this morning, or it's already kind of it was into that area really heavy yesterday. Now it looks like it's approaching down toward. I would actually, if I was gonna play Neo, I would actually let it sell through 20 down to 1975, and then look to play it bounce off of yesterday's low if that holds again. If not, nothing. I wouldn't play Neo short in this extension right now because I just don't think it's gonna get the distance for you. It would actually be better to wait for it to like completely lose 1950 and set up for a breakdown than to probably short right into the bottom of support right now. But let's see here. That Neo was from the room. Calling PFE. PFE is PFE. I was watching yesterday. Tinfoil hat theories aside, look at what PFE did yesterday. Really nice, big, solid buy up yesterday. Looking to come back to the top of this range. So it'll be very interesting to see what PFE does. But someone is certainly starting to get some shares here, and that's looking interesting. The only thing PFE is missing right now is participation. But yesterday, look at this absolutely gorgeous run PFE had off of S3. Even did an R4 breakout. This one didn't look back all day. Really good opportunity. So maybe we give some of this back now today. I'm not sure. I mean, we certainly topped right at this area last time. So if I was going to play PFE, that's the area I'm really, really interested in, right? Is the top wick of this candle here where we sold heavily. Notice we basically just pierced that ever so slightly yesterday and then failed. Right, so today the question will be, what do we do with that? Right, are we going to try and rally back into that, break it, set on it, and go, or are we gonna set up here and reject? So that'll be a nice place to keep an eye on for a possible setup for a play, for sure. Let's see here. What else are you guys liking? Let me grab one from let's go AMD. We can always look at AMD. I don't think Peter would mind if we look at his AMD for a little bit. So AMD in the pre-market is not really doing a whole lot, especially for AMD. But AMD is a mover. AMD always gives you some decent opportunities throughout the day. One thing I am noticing on the daily that I really, really like right now is notice on our S3 on daily here, right? Look how we've had 1 and 2 tests that have bought up, and we're getting some volume increased here. So we are certainly finding some support here, whether that's shorts covering or bulls buying in. We don't know. right? So we'll have to keep an eye out on it and see. But if this can support here and start making some new highs, especially above $105, right? You see the tops, which is basically pre-market high today. If it can get above pre-market high and then get above 2 days ago high and break out from there, that move right there could be very nice. I don't know if I would feel good about playing AMD to the south side unless the Qs really start to sell, right? But we have, you notice we've already been down here recently, and we seem to buy up here most of the time. So going short now, I feel like you're gonna have to scalp or play it really really tight because
I'd be
there's not a ton of downside there
I would
towards
be
100.
careful with that play. The semiconductors have been extremely weak. If you pull up
Mm-hmm.
the SMH, uh, SMH is the Vanex Semiconductor ETF, and
Mm-hmm.
you've got a 20 cross and a 50 on that on the weekly. The dailies have crossed already. We're under the moving averages. This is concerning right now with the current environment and people concerned about recession. So that might have an influence in the AMD trade right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I agree. And that's why when I'm saying, my position on it, I'm saying you have to let it get above 2 days ago, yesterday's high and really show it's gonna try and break out. So it's definitely wouldn't be along just off of that. And that's why I also stipulate is this buying or is this short covering? You can get wicked up bottoms like this, and it's just the shorts profit taking, but they're still buying because they're covering. So and it still causes these wicks to happen. But we'll have to keep an eye. I mean, if Qs sell, or I would actually, I like I don't really use SMH very much, but I mean that looks exactly like AMD on the bottom side right there. Um, Look, if you flip charts, you tell me which one's which, right? They look very similar. So this is I'm certainly with Norm there on keeping an eye on the sentiment there. With stocks like that, we'll have to keep an eye on stuff like Nvidia too. Nvidia. Notice a very similar posture on Nvidia. Nvidia maybe even mirrors SMH even more than AMD does. So you can definitely tell that the semis are kind of in lockstep right now with each other as far as their sector's movement goes. So I'm with you there. I like that, Norm. Good stuff. Good analysis. Thank you. So let's see here. What else do we got here? Come over to the room. All right, we're getting Kroger, KR. All right, I see what you're saying. All right, so KR is already kind of broken out. Its cam range is in a fairly bullish posture, but it's really, really high. And I don't like that it's already at like R3. So it's got a lot of extension. You find itself right near this high here. So obviously that's going to be kind of a big deal, 62.50. So if you're into playing stocks like Kroger, we've got a lot of we don't have a lot of above it here to hold it back. If it can break through and go out, Kroger could make a run, but we also don't have looks like very much proven territory up here either. So it's quite possible we push and retreat. So this one we'll really have to pay attention to the tape on this one and see which way how this one stacks up. Right now, I think it could really almost go any way at this level. Also, bid is actually pretty heavy on this one. So it's quite easy. I think it's quite possible KR comes back into range and it doesn't break out today, especially. Um, Susan DLTR. Good morning, Susan. By the way, how are you? Dollar Tree. Sitting around 158.36. We don't got a lot of volume in the pre-market, but we look like we kind of got like a little daily ABCD thing going on here. It kind of consolidated, pressed, came back in, tested, and now it made a new high and had a nice run yesterday. So the thought being is maybe today we're going to try and Oh no, sorry, that's today. Had a bit of a buy up yesterday. Today already already up a bit. That must have happened in the pre-market. Yeah, right. Post market right here. Oh, that was in the day. It just has no after hours transactions whatsoever. So could use a little volume, but I don't know. We'll see what goes on. I don't know. Need more volume. I would like more. Let's see here on the main room, Microsoft, and then I want to look at Walmart. I'm going to look at Walmart because Walmart's going to be on my list today to watch. So I got a really nice short on Walmart yesterday right here when it topped out just under R4. And the reason I took it short there was because it wicked R4 on the daily, and the level 2 emptied out to the top side. So I went short right there. And but now we're already moving back up. So I want to kind of keep an eye on Walmart in this level. I am by no means short biased on this one in any capacity. Walmart's been a very, very strong stock lately. So it's just been on a really crazy rally. Right. So I start thinking profit taking. I start thinking about, things like that once we get at this extension from value, larger value being at like VWAP and 140. I start thinking about, we have a lot of participants up some good money in this thing. So with it being right at R4, it is a good spot for some profit taking, especially on the swing. So I'm going to look and see if that sets up this morning for Walmart, because if it does set up, the short on this thing could be epic. But don't get trapped in a bear trap because it's extended. You got to make it prove it. And then what was the one that you had said, Microsoft? Microsoft is kind of sitting right at VWAP on the daily. So it would be really hard to really decide which way you want to play this one right now, because it's about as indecisive as you can be on a daily chart. You're just sitting at the average price paid per participant. So no one's really got a lot to gain or a lot to lose at this moment in time. So if it squeezes against you, the shorts probably aren't going to panic. If it starts to sell, the bulls probably aren't going to panic, right? So unless something really dramatic starts to hit this sector, I feel like Microsoft's going to kind of just continue to range, which it's been doing for a long time. Microsoft has been in this same range basically for, since like, early mid 2021. It's basically just been in this range. It broke out for like 2 months, and it set a new range and then came right back in. But it's been in this huge sub 300 value for a very, very long time. So I kind of expect Microsoft to stick around here. Every now and again, you get like you can make a couple of dollars on Microsoft, but you can see for the most part, its candles are almost the same exact size every single day. It rarely has, it's just every now and again it'll have some big crazy day like that, but most of the time it's kind of just sticks to its ATR. So without more volume or a notable catalyst, I actually probably wouldn't throw this one too quickly. How about you,
Let's get to
Norman?
announcements.
Stuff you're liking? You want to hit some announcements?
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock, or it's 8 o'clock, excuse me. So let's go ahead and hit announcements real quick.
Let's do it. All right, we're gonna come over. We're gonna pop over. We're gonna hit the community announcements for the week, and then we'll draw a couple more levels, and then we'll do this thing. Let me see your slide here.
I can't do the announcements because of your lag. It ain't going to make sense. I can't read the slides. So I'm just going to go through by memory real quick and run through what webinars we have coming up next week on. So no reason to even show them because they're going to be delayed and off. On Monday, we've got Mike, 8 p.m. For the technology webinar, talking about the complete guide to understanding commissions. He's going to walk through different fee components that the brokers charge, and what to look for when selecting a broker, and how to figure out how that'll impact you based on your trading style. Then the following week on the 18th, we're going to have a DAS Trader Pro Q&A with Kyle. Tuesday next week, 8 p.m., how to take smart entries. Peter's going to be discussing that. What is a smart entry? Why is it essential to trading? How to effectively manage your entry, so on and so forth. And the next week, Eamon will be talking about his parabolic reversal strategy. Next week on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Mike will be talking about Trading Psychology 101, why you should care about trading psychology and how it impacts you. Don't forget, we've got three different mentorship times on Thursday at 11 a.m., 4 p.m., and 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then on Friday, 11 a.m. crypto session with Jared as well. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't been in the chat, give it a shot. You can go to bearbulltraders.com, scroll down about halfway down the page. You'll see the, test drive now button. You click that, you go in, fill it out, use the promo code premarket24. That is premarket24. And that'll get you a discount off the intro membership, which is a one-time payment. It does not recur. It will not bill you again. You have to choose to become a member if you'd like to continue on. And then also, we still have our spring promotion, Spring 50 for half off the annual Elite membership, where you gain access to all those webinars and mentoring sessions that we have every week.
Awesome. Thank you, Norm. Appreciate that. Carlos is on vacation for a couple more days. I think he's back early next week. Rick and
I think he's back on Wednesday.
So I believe it's Wednesday he'll be back. So apologizing for not being Carlos, but the guy, we like to let him have vacations. So because I think that's an important thing. So, but he'll be back then. So Wednesday, will be your day, and you can be excited for the grand return of the Carlos. All right, so let's hit one or two more little things, and then we'll wrap up this party. The HPQ actually jumped onto the along with Twitter have jumped onto the gap down list. So let's go over and take a look at HPQ. HPQ had the aggressive Buffett had the Buffett touch yesterday, right? So we found out, what was it, Buffett and Hathaway, right? I think I always get confused on this. Norm, help me out here. Is Buffett Berkshire Hathaway, or are those two different things?
Buffett runs Berkshire Hathaway.
Okay, all right. Buffett runs Berkshire Hathaway.
Warren
I don't
Buffett
really do the long-term
runs
stuff,
Berkshire
so
Hathaway.
I tend to not stay focused on. So thank you. Okay, so Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, them took a big old position in HPQ. Everyone found out. Everyone got excited, and we've gapped. So the one thing that stands out to me on HPQ right now is the ladder actually looks really heavy to the downside. So for me, we are kind of gapping down a bit. I really don't like the range we're in for a short right now, but keep an eye on this thing. Maybe in a couple of hours after the open, you let it bounce and chop around for a little bit, maybe even squeeze. It might actually turn into a gap fill. You've got this really big area down here below, this big gap between 39 and 35 where we had this instant pop. So that could be an opportunity there. If we come down, test these lows and hold, we'll see what happens. Otherwise, maybe choppy, but we're getting a little volume. It just dropped off the gap down list. So, and then we had Twitter on there again just for a second. And Twitter's kind of doing that same thing. This happens a lot with these stocks that, meme for a little bit. They go into catalyst. As everyone gets really excited, the price jumps really fast. But then over the next week or so, we kind of reevaluate. And then, sometimes we hold and we move up. Other times that gap gets filled as they realize, well, you know what? It doesn't make that big of a difference after all. So we'll have to see if that happens. Billy hitting our gap down list. I've seen a couple people trade Billy yesterday, and they had a killing on it. It had a really big sell at the open. And it looks like it's down a little bit today, kind of getting near these lows, and Billy was all the way down to, wow, I didn't realize it went to $15 before. So, maybe Billy sneaking up as now that we're getting a little closer to the open, maybe we're going to have a couple of sleepers wake up for us and give us some opportunities. So, let's see. What else you guys got? Anything really sticking out for y'all as stuff that you're really really loving? Let's go ahead and hit a couple of. We'll wait for the watch list for the moderators to start queuing up. Mike's liking Twitter, Apple, and Nvidia. I want to check out what Jared's watching. Target. I want to take a look at Target. Yeah. Target, had retail yesterday. Was it retail in general, really, like big box, Jared, really seemed to pick up a lot of bid yesterday. I don't know what that means, but it really seems across the board. We had a lot of this. Target's level 2 still looking fairly aggressive to the top side, and it's actually opening in an upper extension of its range. So I don't know. It would be hard for me to long this close to VWAP and all of that and R4. But if this gets above 235, gets above R4 on the daily here, then we're going to be above VWAP on the daily. We'll be above R4. It'll put us in a breakout range, and I'd play a breakout off of that for a move, back towards 250 or something like that. But for right now, with this quick move in the extension, I'm not completely sold. I want it to confirm this. Yeah, exactly. Nice weekly breakout. I want it to confirm if it does sell at the open. Then maybe let it come back to 225, even as low as 220, and see if it becomes a buy off of the rally point from yesterday. Yesterday it opened above R4 and was just a straight breakout. So it could just be a breakout, right? So if this thing sets up right, let's have some fun. Yeah, have a good one, Zach. Never biased, my friend. I don't. We play it once it opens, right? SBFM Indigenous. Let's see. It's so SBFM Sunshine Biopharma. It's had some moves, but it had this really aggressive buy up into the close. But the vast majority, all of its move was done after hours. And now in the pre-market, it's in the process of giving the majority of it back. But when the stocks open, it I don't know. Right there, it had a really nice move 2 days ago. So just be really patient with it. I wouldn't get too in a rush on this one, but let it sell down. If it can draw down, we've got this huge value area back near, $8. If it comes all the way back down to S4, it could become a buy again. But you have to remember at this point, you're already invalidating a lot of people who have bought in. So if we don't support here, we could actually get some aggressive selling on this thing. And if that happens, you could look for it to come back inside of the yesterday's range and give up the vast majority of what it's had. So, but it could meme, right? So we just gotta keep an eye on this one. Keep an eye on this one. Keep in mind it's around a 4 million float. Not teeny, right? But it's pretty low, right? It's kind of a low float. So just keep that in mind that this thing can really get moving. Neo Daniel, I'll check that out for you, buddy.
Which one were you just talking about, Thor?
I missed the SBFM. I think it was.
Yep. Yeah. Low float.
Norm's like 4 million. It's a little high. I had to steal Carlos's joke. I don't have his little. This is Q Carlos's pop up, low float king, low float goat. So I don't have the cool stuff, or the knowledge to use it. Let's see. Neo has this bid camping $20 right now in a really big way. The only problem, and then after that, we don't have a ton stacked between that and $19. So I'm not sure if we're going to come down and smash 20 and then try and squeeze, because we do have selling, like really stacking to the top side up towards 21. So I'm kind of curious to see what Neo's going to do. If it's going to come down here, I have an S3 right here around 1988, so maybe it smashes 20 and then squeezes. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it opens. If it opens and immediately rallies off the open, then I probably won't even play it, because I would have to play this long. I need it to sell more. So if it rallies right at the open, I just won't get it. Unless I play it short off of 21. If it rejects 2 days ago low, I might be willing to give that a go. But right now, could use a little more volume, but this downside ladder is kind of sticking out to me in the short term. Let's see. TSM. Oh, Rohit. Let's see here. Taiwan Semiconductor. I've played before. Looks like it gapped up and now sold a bit. So that's kind of interesting. So this has that same look that Norm was talking about with this kind of, the way this is kind of buying up after this. But this kind of like AMD is sitting right above S3, which I like. And I like how we've kind of wicked and buy in. What happened to SBFM? It's no longer on the gap up list. That's what just happened. I lost the whole. It just went to the gap. Wow, from the gap up list to the gap down list, Norm.
Yep.
How often does that happen?
These low floats, it happens occasionally.
We started the day with it over here. Now it's over here.
I think there will be a chance for a little squeeze here, but I don't know what will happen after that.
That's wild. What was I just saying though? I was saying look for it to come back down to this value area right here, right? We were just talking about that like mere minutes ago, right? And obviously could never have anticipated it, but I mean, because that's just nuts. I would never claim to be able to forecast something like that happening.
$3 drop in less than a minute.
I'm never going to claim. You would need the profit of profit imbued with pyramid power to pull stuff like that off. I just saw value and said we could go back to there over time. I wasn't thinking for it to do it now. But now we're getting a lot of bid coming in lower on the price, so people are really starting to freak out a little bit on this one. So that's interesting. I've actually never witnessed one of the times I've gotten to do pre-market show where we actually had a ticker hop from the up to the down like that. That was pretty wild.
It's a mover for sure. Hell, it might be back on the up before we open the show. You never know.
Facts, right? It's actually going to be a breakout by the end of the day, by like in about 5 or 6 more minutes apparently. So that's wild though, man. Cool. Well, I'm gonna pop over and check out a couple of more moderator items popping in here. We've got Eamon is looking at XOM and Disca and Ford. He is classifying all of them as risky. I didn't even know Eamon could view things as being risky. Because he's a computer, but apparently he can.
Real quick, Thor. Somebody's asking about, I believe the pivots. Can you show that real quick because they're not on when Carlos does it, so a lot of people are seeing them that haven't.
Oh sure. What do
been
you
walked through that?
How you add them?
How you add the pivots.
So what we do is they're in the study config here. You just right click study config, and they're actually part of the pivot point study. In DOS, I think you find it right here, right above VWAP. And you add that in. All things other than the price candle, when you add it in, go to config X and get rid of everything, and it'll keep your chart in DOS from looking horrible. And then this is how mine's configured. If you want a screenshot, now these are Camarilla pivot points. So in DOS, you have to check mark this. It's the only difference between it and classic or floor pivots, and this is how mine are configured. So feel free to grab a screenshot. If you got a screenshot and that was information that was good for you, throw us a thumbs up. Give us a little like action there. Look, I just gave you cool configurations. So ring my bell.
So the news, yeah, awesome. Thank you, man. I just want to point out that drop on SBFM was because they put out notice of a secondary, so that caused that drop.
Ouch!
Talk about really hose over the people trading your ticker pre-market.
That's nice. Ouch! That's not very nice. I don't appreciate that at all. All right, cool. Well, it is. We got Dima with Apple, Twitter, Hood, and Oxy. I think for me, I'm gonna be looking at probably. I'm still not sold on a whole lot. I'm probably gonna be keeping an eye on stuff like Walmart. I think like HPQ, Twitter, maybe Hood. So those are the ones, and then I'm gonna keep an eye actually for on the scanner and see what gets alerted. So I hope everyone had a great trading week. I really appreciate everybody coming by and spending our time with us in the mornings. If you enjoyed the pre-market show, even without Carlos here, we miss him so dearly. Please throw us a like, ring that bell, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Norm, great week with you, brother. Pleasure. Do it a couple
Yeah,
more times
likewise.
next week, and then you'll have your partner back. So I hope you have a good one and trade safe, my friend.
Yeah, you too. Have a great weekend. Thanks for covering, man. Take care, guys. Trade safe.
Thank you.